Hello, and welcome to another episode of Creating Cultures That Outperform, where of late we've been covering how to lead from anywhere. We're going through, and in each episode, we're covering a very important topic that will allow you to perfect your leadership, things you should really think about. And we're giving you norms in every single episode. This one is really important. We've talked about interruption, free time, and think time. But there are things that the individual needs to do, and you should encourage as an organization them to do these things. You need them to use energizing tactics throughout the day to stay mentally engaged and feeling well, because you want people to be primed for performance. And as an organization, you should encourage some of these very positive, healthy habits that will actually help them in their life, not just on the job, but they will perform better. So we were working on a whole set of deskercise practices for people who are sitting way too long. And there have been plenty of studies on this. And so here's your norm. We encourage movement and physical activity because staying active boosts our energy, focus, and resilience at work. This is true. People end up,
Absolutely.
they're not primed to perform because they sit too long. They don't take these breaks to do a little stretching and exercise. It's good for you regardless. You should do this on the weekends, not just when you're working. I used to do stuff. I had little weights at my desk. I had those clamps where you could work out with your hands. And I had all this stuff at the desk. And, I do some stretching. I certainly wasn't as good as doing it every hour, but a few times a day I would do something. And, I still work out.
It's so important, especially with being on the computer all the time, using those strengthening techniques to help your hands and your wrists. So I have some thinking putty that I got from one of the trade shows or conferences I went to.
Oh, cool.
But it's just a way for you to just kind of exercise your fingers while you're just sitting there thinking about something, or, you're working on something and you need to stop and think. I've used those little fidget spinners and things like that to just kind of like take my mind off, but it also makes me stand up and not just sit at the desk all the time. Because I can tell in my lower back and my hips, I can tell when I have been sitting too long.
Same
I'm
with
like
me,
a little old lady when I stand up and I'm trying to I'm walking sideways like this, trying to, get things going. But I can tell when I have not been moving enough. I can definitely feel it in my back and my hips.
Yeah. And, look, as a leader who is managing a team that's remote, some of them in the office, some working from home, when you stop to do deskercise, send a note out, hey, I'm stopping to do deskercise, include this norm. We do encourage movement during the day. Set the example. You've got to, as a leader, set the right example, because people don't do what you say, they do it, they copy what you do. And encourage it, bring it up in meetings. This really matters to their well-being. Another thing, this is actually very important too. After an hour, the glucose in your brain starts to get used up. We did an entire show on this, and they did a study in Israel actually of the quality of the decisions that a judge made throughout the day, and the decision quality went down as the day went on. They weren't recharging. You got to take mental breaks. You can even eat certain foods that will help recharge that glucose in your brain. But you have a limited amount of capacity to perform at your peak. And that's why these mental breaks do matter. They're very important.
It's so important for you to take those times to recharge. And this is a quick way for you to do it. It doesn't have to be, a long period of time. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes to an hour. Just taking 10 to 15 minutes of just short, you're not thinking about work. You're walking away from it, especially if you've been working and doing a lot of deep thinking.
Yeah.
When you're in those types of roles, your body needs that time to kind of refresh and recharge. And so taking breaks, walk away from the desk, stand up, stretch, even just walking around, go get some water, walk around a little bit, just to
Walking is huge. Walking is huge.
Pace. Yeah. It's really going to help a lot. It's really going to help a lot.
Yeah. And, if you're not a leader and you happen to be watching this, just do this on your own. As much as you can, do these things, because these are going to help you perform. And at the end of the day, It's all about a peak performance where you're not stressing yourself out, but you're actually taking these cues, doing these things, and improving your performance by managing your energy and your mind and other things that really matter. Rest. Can't say enough about this. The people who don't get really good rest tend to be short and they snap a lot. They get so stressed out. Your brain, they've done a lot of studies on it, but your brain is actually putting away the things from that day and storing them so you can wake up refreshed with your brain ready to go. But what your body is also doing is it's clearing the blood of cortisol, that cortisol that gets you very stressed out and agitated. So you wake up feeling much, much less stressed out. And a good night's sleep is a huge benefit to your performance, no question about it. Encourage your people to do it. You can't obviously force anybody to do any of this. These are personal choices. That's why it's good to have norms so people can talk about it.
Yeah. The brain is a computer. And just like any computer, at some point you have to give it a break. Just like any kind of hardware device, you have to give it time to recharge. And sleep is the best way that you can recharge your brain. You're in this rested state, and we're talking about good, deep sleep,
Yeah.
not that, light. I don't even know what that realm of sleep is called when you
REM
first fall
sleep.
asleep.
Yeah.
But you need to be in REM sleep. You don't want to stay in that light sleep where you're just kind of easy to wake up. You want to get into that state where you're in a deep sleep so that your body can actually rest. When you're not in that deep sleep, your body is rested, but not as fully rested as it would be when you get into REM sleep. But you really, this is so important. When you're not getting enough sleep, it impacts your entire life. Your digestion is off. Your thinking is slower. You're not as sharp. There's so many things that are tied to being able to be fully rested so that your body can recharge. It's so important. We cannot stress that enough.
People who suffer from brain fog, this is often one of the causes, lack of enough sleep. And brain fog, makes you very ineffective at work. So these are really important. Embrace all these good, healthy habits. You should.
Yeah, get some sleep trackers if you need to see how you're really doing. But you really do need to get, that 7 is what they recommend, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. You really do want to get that. You want to get that deep REM sleep, not just kind of like in the first phases where you fall asleep, but you want to get some really good deep sleep because that's when you wake up the most refreshed.
Make it a goal, make it a personal goal. Try to weave this into your life and the way you live. I think it'll make a difference, not just for work, but for life.
Yes.
And, fuel. You want healthy fuel. If you have great fuel, you'll lead a better life. Your body needs fuel. There's high quality fuel and nutrition, and there is low quality fuel that gives you a little burst, but you're really damaging and decreasing your effectiveness over time because you're not giving your body the food it needs. And so fuel for focus is very important. It really matters. It'll make a difference. And many companies do offer good, healthy choices in the office. And, go with those or bring healthy choices with you to the office. If you're working from home, have some healthy stuff around to munch on. It's easy to do now.
This is one you have to be really mindful, very, very conscious of what you're eating because it's so easy to slip into that fast food rut. It's so easy to slip into making the wrong choices when food is presented to you. If you're one of those people that eat for comfort and not for fuel. So you have to be very, very careful and be very mindful of this so that you're making the right choices for your body.
Yeah, it's huge. These are all really good practices. You should embrace them. You can even do more on your own if you want. You can go to the gym regularly. We were talking earlier. Terry's son works for an organization that pays them $5 every time they go to the gym. I think that's amazing. And this is the type of thing that, your company should promote. If They talk about different types of benefits. That's a good one. Health,
Yeah.
gym reimbursements, all those things. Many of these are available. Take advantage of them if you can.
Yeah.
A lot you-
Having the gym be free and then you get a small incentive to go, that is such a difference maker. It helps encourage people, and it's not just saying that, oh, the gym is important, but it's showing people by what you're doing.
Yeah. And now next week, we're going to talk about a very important topic, something people and companies don't have enough of, which is fun. People don't just like to have fun. They need it. Fun balances stress. That's why your body, you're born with both of these. There is going to be stress in life, but there's also going to be fun, and opt for more fun, not less. So, we have a show every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I hope you've been enjoying this series. We got a few more episodes and how to leave from anywhere. Then we're going to do something really fun. We're going to get into a very fun
Yes.
episode. We're going to bring back people unproductive, but we're going to orchestrate something with AI this time. And I think it'll be great. You should certainly look forward to that. This series has been great, and we're glad you could join us. So thank you so much for stopping by. You take care.
Yes. Bye for now.